This meeting is being recorded.
Okay, then.
Can we put up the agenda? Can you put it up?
Yeah.
I had a copy, but
Hang on a minute.
didn't realize that we ran out of ink. Okay, so let me just announce, we're going to start the meeting 5:07. Today is the 3rd of January, 2023. Happy New Year to you all. If there are any students, can you kind of, that's looking for some credit for attending, could you raise your hand and so that we can document your attendance? And I do not see any hands up. So we'll go ahead and I was looking at something, sorry. So we'll go ahead and hit the next item on the agenda. Anyone with general public comment? Non-agenda items, anyone? I see no hands, so we'll move on to agenda item number 3. That'll be for the inclusion of a 2023 election update for agenda. I will have John give an update on this. Everyone who's supposed to file has filed?
John isn't here.
No. This is just for the agenda. So we're not necessarily looking for stuff.
Well, actually, the reason that this was on as a separate item is just to remind people that the candidate filing period ends January 17th.
Yeah, we can give John an opportunity to talk if he wants to, but it's a good idea that it's there.
I mean, that'll be all on there. Let me find it here. That is down here as well. Should I change that to John instead of you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you see? Let me look at something.
Oh, John just happened to come in on attendees too.
Oh, did he? Okay. Shall we move him over?
Well,
See if he has anything to say.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, John.
Hey, John B.
Just seeing about the elections and stuff like that, educate myself.
We were just talking about that.
So it's to make sure it gets on the agenda to, as Victor has mentioned, to make sure that people are aware that they have until the 17th to fill out their candidates information application. And also, if you have any, additional information you want to share, given where we're at, if you, give
Well,
you
I've been checking it since you've assigned me to do this with the elections. So I've been checking it and seeing who's there. I did contact Michael over at last week,
right.
From Peck Park, and told him, and I said, you gotta get your stuff in. So looks like everybody else has been okay. But nothing from what's her name, the one who's doing it, who's had any election. She was supposed to write back to me.
Nima or whatever her name is.
Yeah, Naima. Yeah. So maybe she was gone for the week.
Okay, just, check in between now and the meeting for
Yeah.
any updates and, if she wants to jump in and say anything, she knows this would be a place for her to say something too, but she'll need to let us know so that we could include her on the agenda, or at least her name.
Okay, I'll try to get a hold of her tomorrow.
All right.
Because I know a lot of people, a couple of people that have contacted, they're not back till Wednesday.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Okay, so let's move on to, anyone have anything else to say? Any public comment on agenda item number 3, elections?
Is that,
And-
the link, which page does that land you on? I'm checking it now just to see, but I don't have the exact same one. Do you know where that it takes us?
I believe that's the elections essentially homepage.
Is the Angelino thing, is that how they refer to it? The
Oh, the
No,
Angelino-
no,
Angelino
no,
account?
that's not where this goes.
That's not where it goes?
That's what I was wondering, yeah. I'll just type it in and I just wanted to have a sense of what people would be looking at when they go there.
Okay. Any other comments, questions? I see no hands up, so we'll go ahead and move on to agenda item number 4. These are many agenda items that will be showing up on the agenda. We've got a presentation from the Park Advisory Board formation. Michael is supposed to give like a quick 10-minute pitch for people, for the neighborhood council to be a part of this Park Advisory Board. Just for background, right after the shooting at Peck Park, the council member who was in office at the time, one of his staff members was trying to put together a park advisory board. I think, Melanie, you were
Yeah,
in one of those meetings.
I was in like 3 of them.
Yeah, I'm just gonna, give my editorial comment about it. It was very poorly run, very disorganized. Come to find out that when it was all said and done, there was really nothing that happened. So Rec and Parks is actually taking the lead in forming up that park advisory board. So we may want to see if we have a person who would like to be maybe our Rec and Park liaison and be a part of that. That's for item A. For item B, there was a request that the organizers for Feed and Be Fed program wanted to do just an update, given that we gave them a MPG last year, I believe, right? Melanie, if you recall.
Yeah,
But, just kind of a update as to what's going on, with that. Again, very quick presentation. Don't know who the presenter will be at this particular time, but we'll get a name hopefully before the agenda goes to the public. And then item C is to approve the meeting minutes for December 12th. Item D is to remove Peter Rothe, I think that's how you say it, from the Port/Environment and Sustainability Committee. Item E is to approve the December monthly expenditure, which
so the MER this month is going to have to have a motion and a second, because like Vic said, I found out they aren't back until tomorrow, and they said that the MER is not gonna generate until like the 7th or 8th. So it's gonna be right before our board meeting. I'm gonna have to get it to Christina to put it in the packet and be
Okay.
there, like right before the meeting.
Okay, cool. Item F, approve the budget.
Yep.
Again, another thing from Melanie. Item G, discussion and possible action to appoint representatives. And this is where I just wanted to get an update, because there is the need to maybe start looking at some budget items that affect our area. Specifically, that it had to do with the possibility of what's going on at the park. And there's some, and Melanie, you and I talked about this,
Right, and we figured it out. Ray.
Yeah.
We've got it figured out and stuff, how it's gonna have to be done to do it, because the city entity, it just causes complications, and you gotta get creative as to how you do it. But Melvin helped a lot with this and helped me figure out the best way to do it. So that'll be part of the budget package that's gonna be presented at the board meeting.
Great, thank you. So
Have we thought about for like the PBAB? One representative is fine, but I think it should be a couple of people for the PPAB rather than just one.
I mean, if there's interest by two people, I would love it. But
I would be interested. I've been going anyway in doing it, and then I'm sure Gwen probably is going to want to do it.
It seems like having some redundancy is always a good thing too. Just, if
yeah. But let me tell you my concern. My concern is, Melanie, you have a lot on your plate.
Right.
Right.
Hopefully,
so I don't want to complicate what you got on your plate with more responsibility.
Right. Hopefully the 9th that will change, because we're going back for a follow-up appointment to hopefully she won't have to be supervised. And I'm crossing my fingers.
Right.
I go to an appointment at 3 o'clock. So hopefully I'm not late for our meeting, but.
So here, the other concern, or the concern that is part of this issue, is if Gwen wants to be a part of this. Again, Gwen has a lot of stuff on her plate also. And I'm not talking about stuff that's personal. I'm talking about stuff that she has, as member of the sustainability and environmental piece, and then she wants to get involved in port stuff. Right. And I want to make sure that if that's what she's going to want to do, she owes us reports. She's got to be timely with reports and things like that. And and I just want to make sure, like I said, neighborhood council wise, I want to make sure that you don't have a bunch of stuff on your plate.
Right.
But the other issue is getting people who are just sitting on their hands on the committee and on the board, and they're not doing a darn thing.
Right.
So if we can get someone to actually volunteer to be that park liaison and be part of this, I'd have no problem with, you maybe backing them up.
Yeah, I think it should be like, me, where I'm already been going, and then somebody maybe junior that wants to get their feet wet. So that way we have somebody that we can count on going, and then hopefully the other person, goes too.
Yeah, I was going to suggest maybe, obviously the election's a little ways away, but with those, somebody new is going to be on board. Somebody's going to be looking for something to do. And that might be an opportunity for them to,
And if that person turns out to be really good, whoever they are, and they want to take the lead sled dog reign of it, then by all means, let them do it.
Okay. Well, let's see if any current hand sitters may want to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's always good that, coming up soon, we'll have new people and have a desire to be part of it. So that's what that is for. So you could see, on item G, that's the actual action to appoint a representative. Hopefully we get somebody.
So where do you want to put that on the board agenda?
Well, I guess it can come from the, under the executive committee.
Under motions?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like I already have it. Okay.
Well, then there you go.
Yeah,
And then what was H, discussion possible action? Oh, okay, this is just to identify, make
Right.
sure that we're good with a
So
budget
I'm
rep.
already appointed the budget rep. I am already the budget rep. We already appointed me as that, and Craig is the
Okay.
secondary.
Okay, and this is the thing, I want people to remind them and understand the responsibility, because
Right.
again, for those individuals that are sitting on their hands, you know, I'd like to be able to hopefully navigate their volunteerism, if we could say
Right.
it that way, to, you
But
know,
I
to
think where we've already had someone appointed, this is what I've been doing for the last 5 years as the budget rep as treasurer. I was
right,
even budget advocate, but budget advocate appointment is separate than budget rep. Budget
right,
reps come from the neighborhood councils. Budget advocates are voted on by budget reps at budget day. They are not appointed through the neighborhood council. They come
Okay.
from the pool of budget reps that are voted on by other budget reps on budget day.
So
Cheryl
Melanie, so-
is our current budget advocate right now.
do we just have one per region?
We have two, but Cheryl is the one appointed to the neighborhood councils in San Pedro.
Okay,
And the other one takes care of Wilmington and Harbor City in that
okay.
area.
So I'm gonna kind of put it on you, Melanie, to help us figure out if we need to find out more information about our budget rep. I'm sorry, our budget advocate, and
Right.
any kind of, you know, updated information.
And if there was a vacancy, then the budget advocates are supposed to open up an election for the current budget reps to have a election for that position, and they have not done that if there is a vacancy.
Yeah, maybe you can look into that between now and then and see
Okay.
what's the status is, and then we can have that discussion during this item.
so
Okay.
what is this item going to be? Because it's not going to be appointing anything.
But it, you know, it says discussion and possible action. So this is the discussion part. just to
Right,
get up to-
but there wouldn't be any action to do.
Unless
because
you're
of what
removing
Melanie
me as
just
budget
described.
rep and Craig.
No, like I said, the way it's mentioned, the way it's framed on item H, we're going to have a discussion. And if necessary, the way it's identified, you know, if there needs to be an action, there's already language there that says we need to act. I don't think we need to, given what I'm, you know, where we're at with it. But I just want to resurrect, because we haven't heard much about what's going on from the budget advocates. And now
Yeah.
there's, you know, not only do we have the budget advocates, we have the budget tribunes that are trying to, you know, get themselves into
Right.
the discussion about city budgets. So,
I mean, my point is that it doesn't sound like we even need to have it as an agenda item.
well, then how do we discuss it?
Yeah, I think, I don't think there's any harm in leaving the door open. Obviously, you don't plan on taking any action, and
Well, maybe just put it under executive committee on a report
Right,
as far as discussion about updates of the budget advocate situation.
or put it under report for budget and finance. Either one.
Either way, it's fine. But I just want to make sure that we do
Yeah,
specifically
I'll
talk
reach
about
out.
this.
I'll reach out to the chair and ask him what's going on with our region for budget advocates.
Okay, good. And that'll be part of the discussion.
Okay,
All right. And
So-
look, if we're finding out that like there hasn't been much activity, or we haven't gotten, you know, any kind of real active participation from Cheryl, then perhaps maybe, you know, someone may want to recommend an action, and that could be further discussion with Cheryl or the budget advocates or whatever that might be. Is that fair?
yeah,
yeah, and I think that whenever we're doing this kind of maintenance things, just keeping stuff current, having the, you know, option to take action if it comes up in discussion that we need it, that would be useful.
Right, yeah.
Now, what about the city budget ad hoc committee?
So should this be under motions or should this be under reports?
I think
Reports.
right now it can just be under reports. Because that's what our expectation is right now. And of course, the action could be that next month we'll have a report by so-and-so, by maybe Melanie, you know, a further report, or we may need to establish our ability to maybe advocate for, you know, something from the budget advocate. Like I said, it's just being able to talk about it and understanding where we're at with this, because we haven't had much.
Initially last fiscal year, what was going on, because they elect every 2 years a new budget advocate. And
Right.
so last time around, what they were doing when Cheryl first took over is if you recall, we were having written reports that we were bringing in for everybody to see, that we were adding to the agenda, that she was sending a written report, or the chair would send out a written report. None of that has been happening now. So I don't know what the problem is now with that.
So that's the stuff you'll be asking and finding out for us. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So the ad hoc thing, though, that I think that is separate than those two, Vic. The city budget ad hoc committee.
Yeah. Now, this was a suggestion by Diana, so I'm gonna have her speak more about what her thought was. So she requested this because there are some things that might you know, we might be able to take a look at internally to be able to see how we might advocate for specific budget items from the city, being that they're in that mode right now.
What the?
Whoops.
Well, I'm gonna have to redo numbering anyway, because this is not behaving.
Okay. And then
and I'm not sure where that thing for Diana would go, because she's not part of the budget and finance committee or any of that. So
no, I mean, but you know, if she wants something to say, I mean, this might be
no,
something.
but I'm just saying, I'm not sure where it would go on the agenda. Under executive board or under planning and land use,
or just public comment for that item and discussion maybe.
If we just put it on
Okay, so
budget and finance, which I think is appropriate, or if we want to do it through the executive committee, put it up there. And
well, that's
Diana.
fine. I guess she can just say something on there. And
yeah. And let me see, there was something.
are those two good for now?
Yeah, that's fine.
And then Diana emailed me with some other things to go for planning and land use and.
Right. Yeah, I was going to mention that. I was looking at that.
Oh, did she get that to you? Oh yeah, she sent that to you too.
And things like for tomorrow that we have to go over, like we're going to have the NPG application ready to go. That will be on this meeting, and also the start of the application process of the MPGs. We're going to ask for more money to move it over for MPGs to raise the amount. We have to ask for more money for the newsletter now that we finally got the invoice for Reed Printing.
That's all. That all comes under your budget, right?
That's all going to come under the budget. That's all the things that'll come out at tomorrow night's meeting.
Okay, we can go into more detail with that during our meeting on Monday, next Monday. So,
yeah, but that'll come out at tomorrow's meeting, and then you'll have to send me the words.
Yep, I'll send you the words.
So under this particular agenda item, number 4, any comments, any public comment, any questions, items for discussion?
Well, are you gonna go over the ones that Diana sent?
hang on a second.
Lori's got her hand up.
Yeah, I see Lori's hand up. Lori, can you?
Hi there. I'm sorry, I thought this meeting was at 5:30, so that's, I don't know if this is the appropriate time, but sorry, there are motorcycles racing outside. I wanted to know if the executive committee could submit a motion regarding the city council's wanting to name a portion of Harbor Way after Joe Buscaino. I'm wondering if that could be added to the agenda. I have concerns with the precedents. It's got nothing to do with Joe Buscaino himself, more that city council now doing things like this, like trying to name buildings and streets after some of their own city council members, I think is problematic, especially since they didn't ask for any input from neighborhood councils or anybody else. They're spending money on this and it sets a bad precedence. So I didn't know if that could be considered, Mr. Regalado.
So my suggestion was going to be on that particular item, Lori, would be, is it appropriate for a particular committee to look into it and then come back to us so that it can be put on a specific committee, like maybe.
What committee would that fit?
Well, I mean, my suggestion was going to be community issues.
Yeah, I think issues probably, or maybe planning and land use, but sounds more like issues.
And
I
let
don't
them.
know. It's
kinda
kind of
look
an,
into it.
yeah, it's kind of an odd bird. So we wouldn't be able to get it done in time for this board meeting.
Yeah. And when are they voting on it for city council?
I don't know. I'm kind of, Paul Krakorkian has put through this for 3 different outgoing city council members. Couldn't be a worse time when city council's already kind of under scrutiny. Now we want to
Yeah,
do
because
this.
Central presented something on it last night.
I attended that. The port committee approved it and it's going to their board. But Ray, if I'm too late on this, you
Well,
want
no,
to?
I mean, it seems like right now the port committee, and it will be eventually sent to the board because they passed it. So it went to committee for Central. I think what I'm hearing from Doug that it might go to a committee through coastal. I think that's what I heard him say. But I mean, even if they put it directly on their agenda for this month, I mean, again, it'll be at some point. So for us, for it to get to a committee and then have a recommendation for our next meeting, I think, it wouldn't be untimely.
All right, well, maybe by then, a lot of other neighborhood councils may have weighed in on it. So I'll try to get the council file number and take a look at that.
Okay.
All right, thank you for your time on that.
And I think John is on here, so John has
Oh.
a heads up.
John Barbera's here?
Yeah.
All right, well, I'll follow up with him then. Thank you.
And thanks for bringing it up.
Yeah, I think it's important, but it's got to be handled diplomatically.
Yep.
And tactfully.
So we're not putting this on the agenda, right?
No,
Okay.
not this time around. Okay, anything else? Questions?
Other than Diana's that she emailed us.
Yeah, the 3. Well, yeah, I can, let me for the others' information. Hang on just one.
Vic, also the CPAB, they're dark for the holidays, so there won't be a CPAB report.
Well, it can still be on there. We just say that there's no.
Yeah, it just no report. Because they're
So
dark.
the 3 items that planning wants on the board agenda is to consider approval of a letter regarding the connectivity plan. That's item number 1. Item number 2 is consider approval of letter regarding the beautification of Pacific Avenue. And item number 3 is the consider approval for a letter regarding street trees on North Gaffey. So those are the 3 items. In addition, there is a budget item regarding allocating funds for Peck Park Canyon beautification. That's something you're gonna talk about.
That will go
tomorrow.
on budget and finance, not on planning's agenda item.
Got it. Okay, good. I don't, and this is, she further writes, I don't know if that comes under planning or under the budget and finance committee. But I
For
thought
what?
you guys already talked about that, right?
What, the
Park Canyon View.
planning, that's gonna be under budget and finance, and we've already worked with Melvin at, and the city clerk's office to figure out a plan of how we're gonna do this, so it's
Okay.
all figured out.
Okay, cool. So that was the email that we just got
Only-
during this meeting from
The only
Diana.
problem that they're looking into for me right now, and I understand what they're saying, is the conservatory was gonna do the grant application for them to get the plants, but they're buying the plants from PV Conservatory. So can they get the grant and buy them from themselves to use the grant?
Can I speak on that?
Well, the city
Yes.
clerk is gonna be the person in Melvin to decide on it, because I talked to them,
Well,
and they have to get
Look,
back to me.
look, it's not on our agenda.
Yeah,
And they're gonna talk about it tomorrow, so the discussion needs to happen tomorrow in tomorrow's budget and finance.
right.
Okay, well, then I'll bring it up tomorrow at the budget and finance
Yeah.
meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Lori. Anything else, anyone? Oh, wait, oh no, that was Lori's hand. Anything else? I don't see any other hands. So with, hopefully with no objection and or discussion, I ask that we adjourn the meeting, if it's okay with everyone. I hear no
Aye.
one objecting, so we see ourselves adjourned today at 5:39. Thank you, everybody.
Alrighty, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
Are we staying at 5 in the future, or is it gonna be 5:30?
Well, the reason that it was at 5 is because I have a bond meeting that they
Oh.
scheduled. It's because of the holiday.